a clip for practicing legs up the wall. This is an excellent yoga pose to do any time of day, or evening, or before you go to bed. It can help really relax and settle your body and your nervous system, and also just give you a chance to move your hip joints in a way that's really nurturing. So what you'll need is a wall and a little something to put under your head. Now you'll sit sort of maybe 5 or 6 inches from the wall on one hip, and then you'll lay on your side and come down onto your side with your head on the blanket. And then from there, you're just going to roll onto your back and take your legs up the wall. Okay? And then if you need to adjust anything from there, you can do that. Now you don't have to be right up against the wall with your bum. I'm about 8 inches or so away from the wall. I could probably get a little bit closer. The key idea being that you just don't want to feel your back flattening down into the floor so much. So if you move back a little bit, you just feel kind of comfortable with your pelvis on the ground here. And so with your legs up on the wall, we'll just take a moment to bring your hands to your torso and take a few breaths. Feeling your hips and the thigh bones where the thighs melt down into the pelvis, into the hip sockets. And noticing your torso, your shoulders, your head. Giving yourself a moment to land here. And then once you feel settled, we're just going to focus on this right leg. So I'm keeping a small bend in this right knee, just a little bit of a bend. My right heel is on the wall. And I'm simply going to start to rotate my right leg in the pelvis. So the thigh bone, the femur, is rotating externally and internally. The movement is driven by my leg bone, not down at my foot or my ankle. So as I'm moving here, my pelvis is staying really nice and quiet. So the leg is moving purely in the hip socket. And then go ahead and relax your right leg, and we'll try this on the left side. Little bend in the left knee. And then start to rotate your left thigh bone out and in. So that's external and internal rotation. So you'll see that your knee and your foot will follow this rotation. Okay? All the while, you're moving in a range where your pelvis is not tilting along with your leg. And then let both legs come back into stillness. This is a great place to stay and practice, particularly if you noticed that your pelvis wanted to tilt or tuck or shift. It's good to just stay here and let yourself relax. As we move on to the next stage of this, we're going to keep the left foot where it is and bring the right foot away from the wall, take it over and cross the leg over top of the left leg. From there, now I start to bend the knee and slide my foot down the left shin. All the while, my pelvis didn't shift or tuck or tilt. So the movement came through this leg bone in the pelvis. Once I'm here now, I'm just going to take this leg and press it towards the wall and then release. Press the leg towards the wall and release. Again, this is a movement of the leg bone in the pelvis, in the hip socket. So as I'm moving my leg, I don't want to have my pelvis moving with my leg, because then my leg bone is no longer moving in the hip joint. Okay, so we're just moving in a range of motion here where it's just your leg and your pelvis is quiet. Then we'll slide the right foot back up the wall. And then we'll do the left side. So bring the left foot away from the wall, take it over and across the right leg, and then slide the left ankle down the right leg a little. So now we'll take this left leg and rotate it, pressing the leg toward the wall and then release. Toward the wall and release. And you can have your hands on the front of your pelvis. If your pelvis is wanting to shift with your leg, then you're going too far. This is not about big range of motion. This is helping to teach your body again how it's intended to move. So the leg bone rotating in the pelvis is a function of the hip. And we really want to nurture this. We want to quiet down the compensation of the pelvis moving. And then after a few rounds, a few repetitions, just bring the legs back up the wall. And you can feel free to stay here for another few minutes if you like, just relaxing, enjoying a few breaths. And when you're ready to come away, you just bend your knees, slowly roll over to your side. You might want to stay on your side for just a few breaths, just to let your body have a chance to adapt being back down on the floor again. And then use your hands to press yourself up and away. So that is legs up the wall with a little bit of rotation through the hip joints. Have fun exploring that, and feel free to reach out with any questions.